Hare Krishna. Hello friends, how are you all? I hope you all are doing well. This is Ritendra Rathod and I am preacher of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. And today I come with very special lecture. Today I am going to make all of you understand about balanced leadership and what Lord Krishna said about balanced leadership in Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. But before I start my lecture, I would like to introduce Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. I am having Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. This is Shrimad Bhagavad Gita as it is written by S.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Mahaprabhupada from ISKCON temple, and this is a most authentic source and this is a standardized book, and this is a not religious book. This is a pure book of the science and humanity, and I am only trying to propagate a humanity on the basis of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, and I am trying to morally motivate to those people who are actually frustrated and attempted to commit suicide on the basis of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, because after following of Shrimad Bhagavad Gita we can learn so many things, and we can learn how to live our life with a moral value and good character. So we have to start balanced leadership and Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. First we have to talk about the 5 pillars of balanced leadership. 5 pillars. There are 5 pillars for a balanced leadership. First is intelligence, emotional intelligence or emotional leadership. Emotional intelligence and emotional leadership. Second is resilience. Third is self-presentation. Fourth is awareness, self-awareness. Okay. And fifth is vision. Vision is most important, and also emotional intelligence is a most important factor which make one's common person into the good, means convert a common person into good leader or best leader. Means emotional intelligence is required for the transformation from the common person into the leader. So this is all about that, and there's above all 5 pillars. Are important to build a good leadership, and there should be required a certain quality for the balanced leadership. If the leader is not good, then not following a moral values and good character, then all the people will follow him in his footstep. Means entire world will pursue to that particular leader. So leaders are only setting example. If the leader are not good, then entire world, entire society will definitely go on the wrong way. Lord Krishna stated about the leadership quality. First one is steady mind. Lord Krishna talked about leadership quality. First one is steady mind, one who is not disturbed in mind. Lord Krishna here said one who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst of the threefold of the miseries, or elated when there is a happiness, and who is free from the attachment, fear and anger, is called a sage of the steady mind. Verse number 56, chapter number 2. I would like to say in Sanskrit. Dukhesu anuvigdha manah, sukhesu vigataspuha, vitaraga bhaya krodha, stita dhir munir uchyate. I would like to repeat it. Dukhesu anuvigdha manah, sukhesu vigataspuha, vitaraga bhaya krodha, stita dhir munir uchyate. Means the person who is not disturbed in a mind, even amidst the threefold of the miseries, or related when there is a happiness, and who is free from the attachment, fear and anger, is called the stage of the steady mind. And this is the most important, because without steady mind no one can do anything in their life. No one can do anything in his life. So Lord Krishna said that the steady mind is required most to be a good leader, and also one has to free from the attachment, anger and fear to get a steady mind. Steady mind is required. If we are not having a steady mind, then we can't do anything, we can't achieve anything in our life. We have to be a strong determined, we have to be a strong in our self-intuition, in our in our decision or in our determination. We have to be a strong, we have to be a steady in mind. We don't have a fluctuating mind. So if we are having steady mind, then we can do anything in our life, and one can be a good leader. So this is the quality of leader. Second is self-realized or self-aware. This is the most important. Self-realized or self-aware. a leader must be self-aware or self-realized, because a leader must have realized about what are his weakness and strength, and he must has a ability to convert his weakness into the strength. So this is the most important, ability to convert his weakness into the strength. And Lord Krishna said that the leader has a qualities to recognize who is her, and means what can he do and what he can't do. So leader has a quality like that, what he has to do and what he has not to do, what he ought to do and what he ought not to do. So leader has a certain this quality. This quality is self-realized quality is required. Self-awareness is also required. Now, let's talk about third quality, emotional intelligence or emotional leadership. This is my favorite, and I have learned how to control emotion and how to implement emotional intelligence in our real life. I have learned, I have studied. A leader must be controlled and emotionally stable. Leader must be controlled and emotionally stable, otherwise he or she can't take a decision in that way. Lord Krishna further expressed that in order to control a emotion, one has to control his sensory organs like eyes, nose, skin, ears and tongues. There are 5 sensory organs which are responsible for all such a things to control our emotion. If we have a control on our sensory organs, then we can easily overcome from the emotion, and we can be stabilized in all the condition, whether there is a happiness or sadness. The equanimity in a happiness and distress which makes a balanced leadership. The equanimity in happiness and distress which makes a balanced leadership. Let's talk about chapter number 3, verse number 41. Lord Krishna here says, therefore, O Arjuna, best of the Bharata, in a very beginning, to curb this great symbol of the lust by regulating the senses and slay this destroyer of the knowledge and self-realization. So for the self-realization, we have to make ourselves free from the lust, and in order to make ourselves free from the lust or material desire, we have to regulate our sensory organs. Lord Krishna further said in verse number 42, chapter number 3, the working senses are superior to the dull matter. Working senses are superior to the dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses, and intelligence is higher than the mind. Mind is higher than the senses, the intelligence is higher than the mind, and the soul is higher than the intelligence. First comes soul, then come mind, then come intelligence, then come senses. So this is all about like that. So we all have to, in order to control our sensory organs, we have to control on our soul, and by controlling or regulating our sensory organs, we can easily control on our soul, we can easily control on our intelligence. So without intelligence, one can't be a good leader. So this is also leadership quality. And thus knowing, Lord Krishna further said, chapter number 3, verse number 43, thus knowing oneself to be the transcendent to the material senses, mind and intelligence, and one should control the lower self by the higher self, lower self to the higher self by the spiritual strength. Lord Krishna here said, if one want to become a balanced leader, one should be a spiritual active, spiritual aware, and one should have a spiritual strength to conquer this insatiable enemy known as a lust, material desire. This person will never get any kind of disturbance. Lord Krishna further said about vision. The leader has a clear vision and always think in the welfare of the people. The self-interested person will never become a good leader, and ultimately that person lead to the destruction of the society and the people, because he or she is a self-interested and only think about himself rather than the people. Hence the person must have to think collectively rather than the self or individual. Lord Krishna further said that if something is good for the society or the people, it is also good for each and every individual beings. So renunciate your personal interest, and then only think about in the welfare of the people, because it is a kalyankari also for you path. So leader has this quality, always think about the society, always think about the people. But in this current scenario, no one would like to think about society, no one would like to think about the people. They are only self-interested, they are only thinking about their own family, and they are only thinking about their own self. So Lord Krishna here said, the person who is thinking about their own self, who is only with a self-interest, that person will never get anything in his life. So Lord Krishna further said about a self-presentation. So self-presentation is required most. This is a best quality of a leadership, because without self-presentation, no one can come to know who they are and what can they do in welfare of the people. By the self-presentation, people can easily understand what they have to do and what they don't have to do, and people will easily understand what they actually are. So it's all about self-presentation. So in a best example, we can consider our honorable Prime Minister, as well as in our media. Media is also making media is an image maker and as well as an image destroyer. So we have to think about it, whether there are technology, there are so many things. In which way we have to use it is totally up to us. There are also demerit as well as a merit. So if the merit is associated with the society or the people, then we have to use in this way in the welfare of the people. But in this current scenario, people are only self-interested and think only about themselves. So it is not possible, and I am not able to see how long these all things will go. So let's see. Let's move toward the conclusion. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita is directly related with the human psychology and effect to treat a people who are having a psychological disorder. But nowadays people are considering Shrimad Bhagavad Gita as a book of religion or spiritual, but Shrimad Bhagavad Gita is neither religious book nor spiritual book, but it is a pure book of the science and humanity. And actually Shrimad Bhagavad Gita is a book of psychology, humanity, human physiology or anatomy, brain anatomy, yoga, astrology, physics, chemistry and zoology, etc. So let's move toward the author opinion. Here I must have to say that we all have to read Shrimad Bhagavad Gita and make our child to read Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, because if we would read it, then we can curvature a good character of our son and daughter. Even Lord Krishna emphasized on a good character and moral values, and said that by good character and moral value we can easily win over to all human beings. So by good character and moral value we can make a good leader. We can good character and moral value. This is the most important to be a balanced leadership, to be a balanced leader or for the balanced leadership. So thanks for listening me. I hope you all can understand very well, and if you are having any question, then put a comment. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna.